Oh, hello, and welcome to another Today's Decay, where we're celebrating births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. It is January 4th, and here are all the dates that really right. On this day in 1643, Sir Isaac Newton was born, the originator of the empirical method, I want to say. The thought that the scientific method should be determined by trial and error, testing out theories, determining on your own what's right and wrong by way of laboratory experiments, I guess you could say, right? Uh, a very well documented case of somebody who was dealing with severe mental issues, maybe bipolar, I think. It's really interesting, I think, that somebody like hundreds and hundreds of years ago, there could be so much written on like just what was he struggling with or not. It seems very, very modern in his description, the description of his relationships with his family, his strained relationships with his peers, and then as he got older, you hear all those noises going on here. You've got snoring over here. You've got screaming over there. Anyway, yeah, as he got older, he started to get into alchemy. And so even though here's somebody who is one of the founding members or laid the foundation for like the scientific world that we know, he then went in a whole other direction and wrote hundreds and hundreds of papers on alchemy and experimented with like pseudo magical type processes, and also would speak to um, beings that weren't able to be seen by the naked eye. What was going on? I don't know, but I'd like to know. What else? 1838, on this day, none other than General Tom Thumb was born. I love General Tom Thumb, and a good deal of P.T. Barnum's entourage. Here is a P.T. Barnum's autobiography from what year? 1871. So he wasn't even done yet, but this is P.T. Barnum's biography here. Yeah. Here's an illustration of him, the author training Tom Thumb. I love it. Definitely somewhat of a creation of P.T. Barnum. One of my favorite places to visit is the P.T. Barnum Museum in Bridgeport. This is cool. Look at this. This book, like somebody put like a cigar out on it or something. You see this? It wasn't me, I swear. I try to keep these things in good condition. That cigar was probably like 100 years ago or more. Anyway, P.T. Barnum Museum, Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's awesome. It's when you're driving up 95 in Bridgeport and you look to the west, you can see this like Russian domed looking roof of like a building from the 1890s or something like that. That is the P.T. Barnum Museum. And years ago, it was like 3 or 4 floors tall, and you've got like General Tom Thumb's horse and buggy, like the buggy that would like ride him around town. That was a giant chestnut, or like a pretty large chestnut. And a lot of his original clothes, and what else? All the nonsense that surrounded P.T. Barnum was there, and Barnum's museum in like Lower Manhattan was caught fire, maybe flooded. It was just like one natural calamity after another. His house, Aranistan, in Bridgeport, which was like this colossal building achievement, also burned down like shortly after they finished completion. I think he had another place as well that was destroyed by Mother Nature. And the P.T. Barnum Museum, about 10 years ago or so, maybe not 10 years ago, sometime in the last decade, was struck by a tornado, which, for those of you that don't know weather patterns on the East Coast, we don't really get tornadoes. So how is it that like the Earth keeps reclaiming what is or what was P.T. Barnum's legacy? I don't know, but I like that it does. Yeah. Anyway, General Tom Thumb today, 1838. And last but certainly not least, 1922, Doreen Valente was born, one of Britain's first 20th century witches. Witchcraft was considered illegal from like the 1500s until like 1951 or something like that. Wild as that is. Which makes me wonder, how did like the Golden Dawn people get around that? I'd like to find out. But yeah, so Doreen Valente, along with like Gerald Garner, a couple others, Alex Saunders, decided what witchcraft meant for them and defined their lives accordingly, which is pretty great, I have to say. Not exactly my philosophies that they're imparting and living their lives by, but that's not the point. The point is define your life and your world as you want to, right? Because otherwise somebody else is doing it for you, and well, that's your choice if that's what you want, but not me. And that's actually why we do today's decays, right? Is what is today otherwise? Make it something of your own, make it all your own, right? So there you go, all things to consider on today, January 4th. Until tomorrow, goodbye.